Hey, YouTube. Happy Sunday evening. Well, I thought I'd come on here and add my 2 cents. All right. Now, you guys, you got to realize something. This is not your living room. And you guys go on here thinking you can just beef, and no one will have an opinion. No one will say anything. No one will jump into your situation. It's ridiculous. You're making it public. If you wanted to talk to each other that badly, you could have exchanged phone numbers. So, since we're making this beef between Terelon and Larry Nelson public, I will add my opinion as well. Now, like I say this, you guys are long-winded. Actually, not, Terelon is pretty short-winded, actually. But, Larry, you make them long ones. And I won't say the other people's names because, unfortunately, I've had beefs with people on this thing as well, and I'm not trying to reignite anything. But I do want to say a couple of things here. Okay, so Larry, you are wrong. Now, my history with Larry is at one point I came on YouTube and I called him a homosexual because I felt like he talked about homosexuality too much. So essentially it was the same issue. He talked about homosexuality too much. So we made our peace. I took down the videos where I accused him, and we've been okay since then. So I'm not trying to start up any shit with Larry, and I'm not trying to start up any shit with Terelon. Now, Terelon, I've listened to. I like people to use their, to make live videos, but that's me. I get to do whatever I want to do, just the way he can do what he does. I always watch him because his videos are short and to the point. So as far as I know, Terelon, whatever beef is going on with anybody, he will come, and I assume that he wants to be called he. I don't know because we don't see you, so I don't know. Let's assume for the moment he wants to be called he. Comes on, gives a story, and that's it. Usually it stays pretty neutral. And I think I've heard Larry say that he stays pretty neutral. He'll just say, this person said this person said that person said that, and the whole thing is over in a couple minutes. And I just love that. So I watch him a lot. I don't watch Larry as much. But here's how I feel like you're wrong, Larry Nelson. Okay. You're a heterosexual man, right? So you're a majority of men. There's no reason. You don't have to tell us that you're a heterosexual man over and over and over and over again. See, Larry, this is what happened when women raise men. When single women attempt to raise men, they're constantly telling, well, a man does this and a man does that and a man says this and a man says that. It's a man's job. This is the woman's interpretation of what a man is, right? You're not getting it from actually being a man. This is just something that's coming from a woman, her interpretation of what a man is. So this is what I'm getting. You don't need to constantly say what a man is. You don't dream it. You be it. Okay? So essentially, the reason I had a problem with you before was you used to go in with this, what's this kid's name? My memory, people. Mr. Delivered, Andrew Caldwell. You go on, and he made video after video and video, but all the videos were associated with this man not being a real man, or being effeminate, or doing something that appears to be gay. That was the focus, and I see the same thing happening here. We can all guess that Terelon is homosexual. It is not necessary. Believe me, listen, this is the homophobia part. It is not necessary to keep every comment you make or every insult you make is about their masculinity or lack thereof. You don't have to say that. Can't you just argue with somebody? Can't you just say, you got a big head? Does it have to be, you have a big gay head? You have a big lipstick covered head? My advice, if you want to communicate with people online and so forth, and Larry, it's still basically the same thing. It's still this obsession with homosexuality. Now, you are going to keep running into situations where people are going to take offense at the way you speak. We're not all Einsteins, but we should have some capacity to learn. Okay, I need to learn what homophobia is. I need to know how it sounds. So I start paying attention. If I want to go off with somebody, I'm not going to go out here and talk about their heterosexuality and how they walk, when they try to be tough. I don't got to keep going about their sexuality. Us being minorities is always going to be a negative thing about gay, Am I being clear with this? I think the problem is I really don't want to even discuss this kind of thing, but I feel like it should, because this homophobia is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, I only peek in on these videos because I just can't do these 2 and 3 hour videos. But I peek in and I see, well, that's homophobic, that's homophobic, that's homophobic. Well, no one will really listen to these guys. What difference does it make? But then it starts to make a difference when it's over and over and over. So now you guys are saturating the internet. You're saturating whatever the sector is that we seem to communicate in with all of these homophobic phrases. And you would have to ask yourself at some point, wait a minute, something is different here. What is different? It's different because here I am, a heterosexual, I'm talking about being you. I'm a heterosexual man. Why do I have so much encounter with homosexual men? I mean, the sector we seem to communicate in here is 98% gay men and straight women. That's what I see. I'm sorry if I know there are probably a few scattered people here, but I almost never see heterosexual men communicating with us. Women, gay men, they seem to mesh well on YouTube. They have beefs, they have issues, they have problems, whatever. But you almost never see heterosexual men involved in this mess. There are whole sectors of YouTube where heterosexual men communicate. Now, I used to think that, YouTube is just about women and gay men, right? That was my perception. Our pastor talked about perception today. That was my perception because that's the only ones I deal with, right? But no, there's all different kinds of sectors here. There are sectors where people are super religious. There are sectors where people are sports fanatics. There are all the hip hop sectors. And there's many, many places where heterosexual men hang out, many sites. When you go to their friend list, the people who they're subscribed to, they're other heterosexual men. They like the rough talk. They can relate maybe to always this stuff about punching people in the eyes and all this kind of stuff. It's a whole different world. It's a different language. So my question to you, Larry, is why are you hanging around with all these women and punk? See what I mean about all this language around? All these gay men and women. Why would you choose? Is it because you're attracted to, you think you have more communication with women on here? I don't think they're coming to this sector for that. I just don't see it. All right. So let's be fair. On Terelon's end, Terelon, you realize this man is, and I'm not going to call nobody ignorant and stupid and all that kind of stuff, naive about a lot of things in this world where we live. Go to him with liarry or whatever. When you see he has an absolute shit conniption over the word liarry, just don't fuck with him. Just don't even fuck with him. I don't think I've mentioned Larry Nelson's name probably twice in the last 6 months since we had a little thing. It's just not necessary to goad him when you realize that now he's attached himself to that. We all see that Larry Nelson is still talking about the beef he had, what was it, damn near a year ago? He's still on that. So obviously this man holds on to things. And he will hold on to it and hold on to it and hold on to it. Many threats will be made cops involved, people trying to see if they can file paperwork on each other. All of this is stemming from the fact that you guys will not just let this go. Just let it go. Walk away from it. I think Larry Nelson was or is trying to overcome his homophobia, but I don't think he really understands it or understands what it is. But beefing and bringing all of this ugliness out of him, I just don't see. Because I stayed away from it. I stayed away from it until the homophobic language was getting to be so offensive that I felt like I should say something. Right? So, you guys, just do your own thing. I think, Larry Nelson, I think you should just find where other straight men are hanging out and hang out with them. You, as a straight man, should not have all of this involvement with gay people. It's not natural. And I say, you say, oh, you hang out with anybody you want to. When I say it's not natural, I want you to go through the list and see how many straight men are hanging around in this sector. You're not going to find it. It's all gay men, straight women, or gay women, or people from the LGBTQ, put it like that. But Larry, you're storing us. It's going to be very hard for gay people to stand with you or choose to understand your side when you're letting all this stuff come out of your mouth. So you're exposing the deep homophobia that you have. Now, you had that when you got here. So I understand. You already had that. All this church stuff, the church poisons the brain. You can take that any way you want to. Just like my own grandmother, who I loved dearly, or I loved her for all of her life, certainly all of my life. She still had views based on that church. So the church does tremendous harm. But I don't know that you're going to be able to talk your way out of it just communicating with gay men and straight women. Okay. I just thought I'd give you my 2 cents. I'm not choosing no sides with nobody. I ain't trying to beef with nobody. I'm not trying to insert anybody. My numbers are already in for the month, so I am not clout chasing. That's the standard accusation here. Right? But this is not going anywhere, people. This is not going anywhere at all. When I had the thing with Larry before, I came on, apologized. I erased all evidence of the beef we were having. And that was it. And we haven't had any reason to communicate in all this time. He comes by, he mentions my name every once in a while. It doesn't bother me. But I'm just done, So, anyway, that's my advice. Okay, people, have a good Sunday. For the rest of it, later.